After finishing his daily begging routine, Michael got off the bus and started walking home. Michael is currently a beggar, though even he doesn't fully understand why he's doing it. He doesn't call it charity. To him, it's just begging. Today, he managed to collect a decent amount of money, which would cover his mother's daily checkups. As he walked through the alley, Michael reflected on his life. He's 24 years old, without a father, caring for a sick mother and a younger sister. He lacks the means to provide his mother with proper treatment. In fact, it's her medical needs that forced him into begging. Although some people might consider what he does to be charity, Michael insists it's nothing but begging. He had approached many relatives for help, including his uncles, aunts, and cousins, but none offered substantial assistance. Michael's family had been poor since his childhood. His father, a taxi driver, was killed in an accident when a truck ran over him, leaving Michael to take care of the family. Initially, he worked a small job, managing to pay for his sister's education and his mother's treatment. But then tragedy struck. His mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. Without surgery, the cancer would spread quickly. The money from his job wasn't enough to cover both the treatment and their living expenses. Desperate, Michael went door to door asking for help, but no one gave enough. He printed posters asking for donations and started begging on buses, even selling small items as a street vendor. Over time, he saved up some money, but the doctor said it wasn't enough. He needed more, and time was running out. If the surgery wasn't performed within 2 months, his mother might not survive. Michael had saved up around $5,000 to $6,000 in the last month, and with some help from relatives, he could gather about $10,000. Their savings might bring the total to $20,000, but they still needed more. He thought if he begged every day from morning until midnight for the next 2 months, he might be able to raise enough for the surgery. As these thoughts swirled in his mind, Michael reached home, carrying a bag of groceries he had bought on credit from the local corner store. The shopkeeper had scolded him, but Michael ignored it and left with the groceries. They lived in a rundown house in a poor neighborhood in Detroit. Next door was a small, abandoned building where Michael occasionally sat on the roof to escape his worries. When Michael knocked on the door, his little sister, Sarah, opened it. They shared a small apartment with other tenants. After he entered, his sister said, "Michael, Mom's not doing well. We need to take her to the hospital tomorrow." Michael grew anxious, thinking about the costs of taking her to the hospital. More tests or the need for immediate surgery would only worsen their financial burden. Without overthinking it, he replied, "Okay, we'll take her tomorrow. How is she now?" From the other room, his mother weakly said, "I'm holding on, son. I've become such a burden to you. Maybe it's better if I die so you can live in peace." Sarah shouted, "Don't talk like that. Michael, you should go take a shower. Where did you get the money?" Michael replied, "Don't worry about it. I'm doing my best." After taking a shower and having a simple meal of rice and beans, Michael went up to the roof. He liked to go there whenever he felt down. Tonight, his begging income had been low. The moon shone brightly, and it was past midnight. Most people were already asleep. The building was old and few tenants lived there. The roof was quiet, a peaceful refuge where Michael could sit and think. For some reason, people didn't stay in the building for long. It was old, and the landlord, a miserly man, refused to renovate it. Michael lay on the roof, thinking about how to get his mother treated for cancer. Without surgery, she wouldn't survive. Tomorrow, he planned to visit his wealthy uncle, Frank, who lived in a mansion in Chicago. Maybe this time, Frank would help. As Michael kept thinking, he fell asleep on the roof. He woke up to the sound of church bells signaling dawn. After eating a little, he headed out to start begging again, hoping to visit his uncle's mansion later. That day, after waiting outside his uncle's mansion for hours, Frank finally returned. Michael begged him for help, explaining that he needed money for his mother's surgery. But his uncle, despite his immense wealth, only handed him $100, saying that business was bad and he couldn't offer more. Disappointed and hungry, Michael left. As he walked through the streets, he bought a few cheap pastries and, without realizing it, wandered into an unfamiliar part of the city. He sat under a large oak tree to eat. Just as he was about to take a bite, a cloaked figure approached him and asked, "Could you spare some food? I'm really hungry." Michael handed over his food without hesitation. The stranger devoured it quickly and thanked him, then offered to guide him back to the main road. However, when Michael looked around a few minutes later, the stranger had disappeared. Later that night, back on the roof, Michael was shocked to see the same cloaked figure from under the tree. The stranger removed her hood, revealing that she was a beautiful woman in a white gown. Her name was Lana, and she claimed to be from another realm. Mysteriously, she offered to help Michael's sick mother. Michael, still shocked, asked, "How can you help my mother? Who are you really?" Lana smiled softly and said, "I am not from this world. I am what you might call a fairy, from a realm beyond this one. When I saw you share your food with me, even though you were hungry yourself, it touched me. That's why I want to help you. Your mother's cancer may seem incurable here, but in my world, we have ways to heal such illnesses." Michael was speechless. He wasn't sure if he was dreaming or awake. He asked, "So you're really not human, and you can cure my mother?" Lana nodded. "Yes, I can, but there's a condition." Michael, still bewildered, asked, "What condition? I'll do anything for my mother." Lana hesitated for a moment, her gaze softening. "You have to promise to take me around your world, show me your city. I've never really explored it. If you agree, I'll cure your mother." Michael, desperate to save his mother, said, "If you can heal my mom, I'll do anything. I'll show you every part of this city, every place you want to see." Lana smiled gently, but there was a hint of sadness in her eyes. "Very well. Tomorrow we'll begin. I'll come back at sunset and we'll start our journey. But first, I'll take care of your mother." The next day, as promised, Lana returned in the evening. Michael took her to his mother's room. She was lying in bed, weak and pale. Lana placed her hands gently on Michael's mother and closed her eyes. A soft glow surrounded her hands, and within moments, Michael's mother's breathing became steady, her color returning to her face. She slowly opened her eyes, looking stronger than she had in weeks. Michael's mother, still groggy, asked, "Who are you, dear? You're like an angel. I feel better." Lana smiled. "Don't worry, Auntie. You'll be fine now. Rest well." Michael's mother looked at her in awe, not quite understanding what had happened, but grateful nonetheless. As Michael escorted Lana outside, he asked, "What did you do? My mother already looks so much better." Lana replied, "She will fully recover within a week. You'll need to take her to the doctor just for a routine checkup, but she's healed. I've done my part, Michael. Now, it's time for you to keep your promise." Michael, overwhelmed with gratitude, said, "Of course, Lana. I'll show you the whole city. You've saved my mother's life." That night, they began their exploration of the city. Michael took Lana to Times Square, where the bright lights and bustling crowds amazed her. Lana was fascinated by the energy of the place, watching people rush by, cars honking, and the vibrant billboards lighting up the night. "This place feels so alive," Lana said with wonder. "I've never seen anything like it." Michael, watching her fascination, felt a warmth in his heart. It had been a long time since he felt such happiness. "There's more to see," he said. "Let's keep going." Over the next few days, Michael and Lana visited all the iconic spots in the city, Central Park, the Brooklyn Bridge, and even took a ferry to see the Statue of Liberty. Each time, Lana marveled at the beauty and energy of the human world. They laughed together, shared stories, and as they spent more time together, Michael began to realize something. He was falling for her. But even as they grew closer, Lana seemed distant at times, as if something was troubling her. On the fifth night, as they sat on a park bench, watching the stars, Michael finally asked, "Lana, is something wrong? You've been quiet today." Lana looked down, her hands clasped together. "Michael, there's something I haven't told you." Michael's heart sank. "What is it?" Lana took a deep breath. "My father, he knows that I've been spending time in the human world. He's furious. He's given me an ultimatum. If I don't leave you and return to my realm, he will take your life and bring your mother's illness back. I never wanted this to happen. I never wanted to hurt you, Michael, but I have no choice." Tears welled up in Lana's eyes as she continued. "I wanted to stay with you. I wanted to be with you forever, but that's not possible now. To save you and your family, I have to leave. Forever." Michael, stunned and heartbroken, grabbed her hands. "No, Lana, don't leave. I love you. I can't lose you now. But Lana slowly pulled her hands away. I love you too, Michael, but this is the only way to protect you. As she stood up, tears streaming down her face, she began to fade into the moonlight, her form dissolving into the night air. Michael stood there, staring at the empty spot where she had just been, his heart aching. He had finally realized that he loved her, but now it was too late. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Michael's mother fully recovered, just as Lana had promised, but the pain of losing Lana lingered in Michael's heart. He often found himself sitting on the same park bench, hoping that one day Lana might return. But she never did. Years passed, and Michael never married. He couldn't bring himself to love anyone else. His heart still belonged to Lana, the fairy who had saved his mother's life and stolen his heart in just 10 short days. To this day, Michael still waits for her, watching the moonlit nights, hoping that maybe, just maybe, Lana will return. Dear viewers, how did you find today's story? Please let us know in the comments below. If you've experienced anything similar in your life, feel free to share it with us. I'm Ravon, your host for this story, and you've been watching Shadows of the Unknown You Say. Thank you all for listening so attentively. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, be sure to do so, and don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. We'll see you again with another story. Until then, take care and stay safe.